Welcome to the Power of Music podcast, brought to you by JM International. Get ready to explore conversations with those making a difference through music.
Hello, and welcome everyone to the Power of Music podcast, provided to you by JMI, Jeunesse Musicale International, a global network of NGOs that empowers young people through music across all boundaries. Today, we are recording from Tatuí, Brazil, where JMI's YamSession is held. YamSession is an inspiring international conference for professionals working with live music for young audiences. My name is Ricardo, and I'll be your host. And for this episode, I'm joined by Alessandra Costa. Alessandra is the director of Sustenidos and board member of JMI. Thank you so much for joining me today. First, can you share a bit about your journey into music?
Yes, so my journey into music began probably when I was a kid. I studied music, I studied piano, I studied classic guitar, but I was a bad student. I mean, I didn't have the discipline to practice, and we all know that when you don't practice, you get nowhere. So and also, I felt like it was a very lonely thing to be with your instrument, practicing and stuff. I was bad at reading music, and maybe because I was taught in a very traditional way, then I gave up. I ended up being an actress, what for me was much better because it was a collective activity, it was much more fun, and that's it. So I quote music learning. But my brother was a musician. He was a classic guitar player, and all his friends were musicians. So then I grew up listening to a lot of music, of course, and he taking me to concerts where we used to sneak in when there were free places because they were very, very expensive. And then me as a kid, I remember one day when I was in my pajamas and he arrives at the house like with the car, saying, "We got extra tickets, come." They went with my pajamas. I put the clothes over it, and then I go. So it was like that, going to concerts and things. And then my family works in the culture field like forever. My mother was a teacher. My father is a writer, a poet, and a painter. And my brother, besides also being a musician, was a painter. So then the only thing that I knew probably was that. So being in the culture field. Then I became an actress for many years. And then I moved to the backstage, like working with cultural management. I went to the city department first, cultural department, then to the region, Sao Paulo region, cultural department. And then I went to direct this organization. But since the beginning, when I started working in the cultural sector, I was working with music, planning concerts, doing programs for cultural centers. And then, destiny a little bit brought me here because I worked in the Sao Paulo region cultural department. Then someone invited me to go to direct this organization, which is mainly a music organization. Also, I was a record seller. I sold classic music and jazz records in a very nice store, one of the best jobs of my life, actually, because no conflict, no problems, only listening to music 6 hours a day. And learning with collectors. They gave lectures and talked a lot and bought a lot. It was super fun. So actually I learned a lot about it by selling records. That's it.
And can you just share a bit about Sustenidos and what do they do and what do you do in this role?
Okay. So Sustenidos is a non-profit organization, and we take care of many public policies in Sao Paulo State and Sao Paulo City. So we are it's a civil society organization. Some members of civil society formed this organization to support a music teaching program, which was Projeto Guri. That was in 1997. And then after some years, the organization got how can I say, an accreditation from the government that allowed us to have contracts with government to manage public policy. So this is very common, especially in Sao Paulo region. Many huge public venues or policies are managed like that. So the Sao Paulo Symphony Orchestra, all the museums, music teaching programs, the state dance company, they're all like that. So government gives guidelines, money, and goals, very strict goals. We have a contract with them. We have to implement these policies. Of course, we have the freedom to choose with whom we want to work. We have like artistic freedom also to choose the programs and everything. But we should follow the public policy guidelines and we should achieve the goals. We are very, very monitored and many audits, like private audits and also public audits because of being mainly public money. Currently, what we do, we are in charge of the Opera House in Sao Paulo with all its artistic groups as well. And we are in charge of Conservatório de Tatuí, which is a music and drama conservatory. We have also a music teaching program in 19 different cities, in 7 or 8 different states. And we do a couple of festivals as well in partnership with JMI. So we did Imagine and Ethno for many years, not this year. And now we keep seeing how much money we get to try to balance and choose what we will do next year. That's it.
And if you look at the goals that the policymakers make, what kind of focus is there? What is their main priority when it comes to culture and music?
Quantity. We were in charge for many years of Projeto Guri, which was like a massive music teaching program in 280 cities of Sao Paulo state. We have thousands of students. And it was very, very hard to balance quantity and quality. And of course, when it comes to choose, usually government chooses more. Even it's always more with less, more things with less money. And if you wanted to dive deeper and increase quality and keep the numbers the same, usually it doesn't work. That's the bad part, because of course we, on the opposite, we would love to have less in our plate, but to have more money to be able to do it better. If you take, for instance, of course, the conservatory, we have very good teachers, but also we would like to pay them more. But, if we pay them more with the money that we have, then we would have to have less students and it wouldn't be good. So it's always about trying to find this balance, I guess.
And what is the role of music here in Brazil?
Well, what can I say? Music is like, of course, everywhere it's a language, but I guess in Brazil it's a language that we learn very early. I was very impressed because I lived for almost a year in Switzerland, or when I traveled to some countries. And what impressed me more in Switzerland was not hearing any music at all or any noises coming from the windows or in the street, those very silent countries. And here in Brazil, everywhere. Sometimes it's even, annoying because, there is no free hearing space because there's always music, there's always noise, there's always something going on. Even if you go to the beach in Brazil, people they have this attitude of bringing their own sound system and putting many musics at the same time. So I would say for us, music is like rice and beans. It's with us all the time. But music, like formal teaching, is not that common. It's not that you should pay for it. You don't have many free music teaching opportunities all over the country. In some states you do, like Minas Gerais or São Paulo. But that's it. So we believe that also our role is to make it wider in the sense that everyone brings their own repertoire. Everyone knows some music, but the broader the better. So you start like introducing new genres or new techniques or things. And not how can I say, not throwing out what they already know or like to hear, but it's always about improvement. So I guess it's a very good opportunity to have this kind of learning. And we had in Brazil, we had a law actually about making music teaching mandatory in schools. The law was approved. We never implemented it. And then they just abolished the law, I guess, some months ago. So it's gone. And it was never implemented because people just didn't know how to do it. It's bad.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
What I always like for the Yam sessions, especially the showcases, you can watch the performers, but you can also watch the kids, if there's kids.
Yeah.
And what stood out to me here is that the kids always start clapping along with the music, even sometimes when it's not really wanted. And we don't have that where I'm from. We clap only when,
Someone
we're
asked
incentivized to clap.
Yeah, we just did Big Bang, the festival, music for kids, and they, like the Belgians, were also very impressed with that. I guess it's a mixture between many things. It's a natural thing for us to participate. Also, teachers, they have this kind of programming and mental, I don't know, orientation that clapping means participating in some way. And also, we don't like silence very much. So I think it's very nice to clap, but sometimes it's also very nice to listen. And this listening practice, we should improve, I guess, because the immediate thing is just to start clapping. But sometimes there are many small things happening on stage that you just cannot hear because you're clapping, too busy clapping. So I have mixed feelings. I like, but I don't at the same time.
Yeah, especially with the piano act, you saw that one of them was trying to navigate the clapping because everyone was clapping at a different rhythm.
Yeah.
Hard for piano music.
But they started, huh?
Of course.
They asked it the first time, they asked for clapping, so...
It's their own fault.
Yeah.
It's the first time YamSession is organized outside of Europe, which already tells quite a bit. Why did you decide to bring YamSession to Brazil, and what does it mean to have YamSession here?
Well, a long time ago, actually, I started thinking about it because I saw it for the first time, I guess it was 2013 in Brussels. It was just starting. And I was really interested because in Brazil, we don't have like a system, or even the artists are not interested in making music for kids. They consider something like not very, how can I say, grand, or, if you do music for kids, it's almost a failure. And some people do, but also treating kids a little bit like not very intelligent human beings, underestimating kids. So there are a couple of groups that do that, but I saw some productions from different countries that showed me that maybe it can be much more interesting and complex, And then I started thinking about it because there's a whole new field, I guess, to start in Brazil. It would be good for musicians because it's a possibility of job, of course. It would be good for the kids. It would be good for the schools and everything. But I guess it should be done in a clever way. So I was puzzled. And then, sometimes it happens like that. In JMI, for many years, I've been there since 2012, I guess. Sometimes it comes to me that say, I can do that. Then I volunteer. Let's do it in Brazil. Then after a while, I say, oh my God, now I have to make it. But anyway, so sometimes it's a kind of intuition. And then they said, okay. And my intention was to show to the team and to people, to culture department or school department that it can be done here. Of course, it can always be better. I had big expectations. Some were accomplished, but yes. But that's you do what you can. It was, but I'm very glad to do it anyway. It was good. It was a good decision, I guess.
I like it. Yeah. And I like Brazil as well.
Yeah.
I know that working in policy is not always easy. And you said you don't really want to talk about that, but let's talk about it from the positive perspective.
Okay.
In all these years you've been working in this field, what are you most proud of? Or what are you most, maybe some people feel proud is not the right word, but what are you most happy with?
Mm-hmm. Yes, when I can implement new things, I mean, when I can convince people to do it in a different way, not only looking at the numbers and growing more and more and more, this makes me happy. The numbers also make me happy because, of course, public policy has to reach many people. When we can also, because, working with culture, I guess we have different audiences. So we have the artists, we have the public, we have institutions. And when you work with culture, you have to try to reach all these different needs from those different sectors. And the needs don't converge. Sometimes they are totally opposite. So we work with audience in the sense that we provide music teaching and things and concerts. We work with artists now with the Opera House more than ever. I mean, we have, 300 artists there. And it's very challenging because their needs are totally different from, the audience need. And then we work also with other institutions, and we are an institution. So I'm happy when I manage to balance all those needs and deliver at least a little bit for each. And also we have some things that we defend very strongly, like diversity or inclusion. It became like almost empty words, but still we struggle a lot with artists, with institutions, to make them understand that's important. And when we succeed in doing that, then I'm happy.
And when things get difficult, and I think each situation is unique, but a lot of cultural organizers globally facing financial cuts, pushback. What keeps you going? What keeps you motivated?
I don't know. It's kind of I don't know. I think we are born with this, not we, but maybe me. I'm born with this thing, you just keep going and don't ask too much to yourself why. That's not very healthy, I guess, but actually, it's not that when bad things happen, because in our experience, bad things happen every year. I mean, every year we have to struggle, of course, with budget, with cuts, and then you see yourself in a situation where maybe you have to fire people and, you have to let go good ideas that you want to implement. And so I don't know. It's not rational to keep going. We just do it. I will not say like beautiful phrases about the importance of my mission or culture or whatever, because I really don't know why I keep going. Sometimes I just look at myself and say, why are you doing this? You're putting yourself in risk because legally I'm responsible for a lot of money, a lot of people and kids and things. And so why to do it? It's not about the reward or mission, whatever. It's like, maybe it's discipline. I don't know. The discipline that I didn't have to practice, to play the piano. Maybe I have the discipline to do this kind of thing. I don't know. I don't know the answer.
Responsibility.
Sorry. No. I guess it's discipline, the word. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Let's try to end with a positive. If tomorrow they say, we found some extra money, no restrictions, no goals. What is the one thing you would change?
Oh my God. Yeah, maybe I would start just one thing, to have my own cultural center. You mean like if I were Melinda Gates?
Of course.
Recently divorced and billionaire. What a dream. Then I would like...
I love that you go with that metaphor. You could have also said money without divorce. But okay, recently divorced and money.
Yes, amazing. Then I would be rich and I could do whatever. So, yes, probably I would have my own cultural center with lots of crazy productions. And I would only hire people that I want and I love. it could be like a kind, all those things that you cannot do when you're, responsible and accountable and things. Maybe I would go bankrupt very fastly, because I would hire people that I love. I would work with those I want. I would spend crazily. Yeah. Maybe I would end like Steve Jobs, thrown away from his own job because of being not reasonable. I don't know. Probably like that.
And then being asked to come back after some years when they realized that necessary in the end.
Yeah, of course. I would love to spend. I know how to spend money. I like it. But, unfortunately, it's like a talent that I cannot use. It's so sad. It would be a dream.
If people want to find out more about Sustenidos or connect with you personally, where can they find you? Where can they find Sustenidos?
So we have the website, of course. So it's sustenidos.org.br, and social media and stuff. It's a little confusing. We have social media for Sustenidos, but also for each program. So we have Teatro Municipal, which is the opera house, and we have Conservatório de Tatuí, which is the conservatory. But in our website, you can find the links to everything.
As always, the last question. What is the power of music?
What is the power of music? Wow. I guess, well, probably it's quite obvious. I don't know, but of course, communicating without words and taking you out from your rational state, in a sense, because you don't understand when you listen to some music. Sometimes you don't know where the feelings are coming from. So I guess it's about feelings mixed with aesthetics. So it's a very specific thing of way of touching people. I can give you an example, because we use it to work in Projeto Guri with teaching music inside how can I say, for teenagers in conflict with the law. So they have a whole educational system where they are locked, of course, but they don't call it prison. So it's social, educational, rehabilitation, whatever. And then we use it to teach music in there. And then you have those kids that are, very, very tough, and they want to look like they are, very bad and ta-da-na. So they grow up in a very difficult environment, and sometimes when they are, of course, in the like street world or committing felonies or whatever, they have to look like they're really, really bad. Sometimes they're like teenagers with 13 years old and stuff. And sometimes we were teaching them and they just became kids again. So they could let out their happiness, their tenderness. It was great. And also with mothers, we taught mothers with babies inside that institution. They were pregnant and locked, and they had the babies there. And then we were teaching them like to sing songs for babies and things. And they connected with their babies, but they also became like children again, because they kept saying, my mother never sang me a song. So you see.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for listening. If you want more information about JM, or you would like to get involved, visit www.jmi.net. At JMI, we are on a mission to make the world more musical. That's why we created Mubazar, a digital platform that helps us manage all our musical activities across 80 countries worldwide, connecting musicians with opportunities to grow both personally and professionally. If you are a music professional looking for a better way to manage and promote your music activities, check out Mubazar. Created for music organizers, by music organizers, Mubazar allows you to run music competitions, workshops, camps, auditions, masterclasses, awards, events, and much more. Mubazar offers custom application forms, payments for your activities, jury tools, translations, analytics, and more. Mubazar is fast becoming the best place for musicians to find and apply for music opportunities online, and you can sign up today for a free organizer account by going to www.mubazar.com, registering, and then requesting to upgrade to an organizer on the right-hand menu. For more info, don't hesitate to get in touch via support@mubazar.com. It would mean a lot to us if you could give us 1 minute of your time and rate and review the podcast. In case you have any suggestions or would like to be one of our next guests, feel free to reach out to us through the JMI socials.